8:03 start, so 2 minutes to heat that cup of coffee. Hey Vijay, good to see you call into the meeting today.
Hi, Anu. Good to see you.
We usually start at 8:03, so just to give everybody a little warm up time to get warmed up on a Friday.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, we're at 8:03. We've got a reasonably good quorum here. So let's get started. The agenda today was to go through a quick 5 to 7 minutes for each of the work streams to provide an update. And really what we want to talk about is, anything very nice, cool that has happened, a white paper or a publication, or a spec coming together, or if there's any changes in scope. Or are there any other issues which you need the larger group to help mobilize or more collaborative approaches? That's really what we wanted. So before we get started on that today, Cliff is here and Cliff has a few things to talk about. So let's, all yours, Cliff.
Well, thank you, Anu. I have two things that I want to mention. One is that we are gearing up for the Chiplet Summit, 21st, 22nd, and 23rd of January. Again, OCP will be sponsoring a afternoon tutorial on the open chiplet economy. We have a pretty good lineup of speakers, I think, and so please come and support us. Anu will be sending around an email with a bit of information on the Chiplet Summit and our participation and a link for registration. If you register using that link, you get access to the entire conference complimentary. So please use that link. That's for the OCP community, special for the OCP community. So that's one. Oh, and also I should say OCP will have a booth there, and the team, including myself, will be on site. So if any of you want to have a face-to-face meeting, please reach out to us. We'd be very happy to spend some time with you. Number two, the call for papers, proposals just went out Wednesday of this week for OCP EMEA Summit. So please think about submitting a proposal to speak around chiplets. We'd love to have a track on chiplets at the EMEA summit in Dublin. You'll see if you look at that the deadline for abstracts is February 10th. So you still have time, but again, I want to give everybody an advance warning to start thinking about it. I think that's it for me. Thanks, Anna.
Thanks, Cliff. For the Chiplet Summit, I think anyone who's a speaker also will get a pass, so you don't have to use the OCP link to register. Just keep that in mind if you are a speaker for the OCP tutorial or any other section of the Chiplet Summit, you should be covered and you shouldn't have to go through the link. But feel free to share it with other people and encourage them to show up at our tutorial and see what progress we've made so far this year.
Just a quick clarification to that, Anu. I don't know if speakers are pre-registered. So if people have to register and you're part of our community, I would ask that you use the link. Just
I
because
see.
the OCP gets credit for you being part of our community versus coming up from elsewhere.
Oh,
But if
okay,
you're
I take that all back.
if you're pre-registered, then that's not a problem.
Yeah, I
don't
think
because
I'm trying to remember from last year. I think they send you, if you're a speaker, they send you a code, and so you have to register. But if you put that code in, you don't have to pay the X amount of dollars that they.
So the other way would be potentially to register through the OCP link and get identified as part of our community.
Yep, sounds good. So yeah, listen to Cliff. Don't listen to me, everyone. That's the. That's what the takeaway from this is. Thank you, Cliff. And so now let's move on to our agenda. I don't have a specific order for team leads to talk about theirs, but I know there's people with time restrictions. So anyone who needs to go now, please feel free to speak up and you can finish up and leave if I understand how busy everybody's day gets. So is there anyone who absolutely needs to go first or last or in the middle?
No, if you don't mind, I can go.
Yep. Excellent. Thank you, Rajesh. I know you messaged me yesterday saying you've got a conflict. So Rajesh, appreciate it. Rajesh is a co-lead on our test workstream, a new workstream that started. So all yours, Rajesh.
Hey, thanks, Anu and Jawad. This is Rajesh. We are actually, I co-lead with Mike Bartley of TESOL. The new workstream we started, which is, we also named it a Chiplet/SIP test. And good thing is that our white paper, if you want, I can send you the link. It got approved and accepted as a OCP contribution. That was a good collaborative work between industry. We had some co-authors from Synopsys and TESOL also. Then we started actually recruiting aggressively for like-minded people. Good news is we got 3 new industry participants to join our Chiplet workstream, Chiplet test workstream. And one test, Frank and Bob, they are a very senior experienced engineers. Teradyne, we got one good participant from Teradyne and also from ISC, which is like a sister company of AAC. So this is a good participation because we wanted not just CAD, but automatic test equipment and design to come together. And active participant actually list is now 11. Temporarily, we are now meeting at Wednesday, 8 o'clock in the morning, because our audience, actually participants are dispersed all around the world. People also call from India and Malaysia, and actually major part are in Europe. So we plan to expand the current white paper with ideas. So we have created a OCP now OCP link for all the meeting notes, and we are taking a survey on what we can do to expand our current white paper with the new ideas. Again, brainstorming session has begun, and on the bi-weekly meetings, in addition to the new fault models and industry challenges, thermal power, etc. We are also trying to bring more topics outside just white paper version 2. So I would like you who are interested to participate if you get time. I know everybody is completely swamped with so many work streams of their interest, but if there is any mutual interest, do join us. Me and Mike will be happy to discuss. Thank you, Anu.
Thanks, Rajesh. Rajesh, this 8 a.m. Wednesday bi-weekly, is that on the wiki page? Or do we need, I'm just trying to understand, I want to take notes about any modifications we need to make because that wiki page doesn't necessarily always, unfortunately, is correct. So
Yeah, so OCE
yeah,
subgroup webpage right now has the new Workstream name, which is got modified with IT folks, and then time is basically need to be displayed there. Right now it is not, so we are best sending to our Workstream email subgroup. But once it is, agreed between various time zones restrictions, so
yeah.
this will be finalized hopefully by next year. Mike and
Okay.
myself will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, once we have that, we'll update it on the website so people can just use that link to call in because sometimes there's a lot of confusion.
Right, and even we used to use Teams web link that was just temporary before we submitted the white paper. But right now everything is moved to Zoom. That's a good consolidation.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And through the Zoom, everything gets recorded and then people can listen to it afterwards. So this is a newly started test work stream. We're very excited to have a lot of folks. Teradyne also was interested in joining. So if you are in any way an EDA company or a test company or a semi company interested in the test work stream and would like to influence something in some way, please reach out to Rajesh. And then you can join the group and you guys will have to figure out what the best time to work. And like he said, there's so many time zones, it is sometimes very difficult to make that. So someone has to suffer, bottom line. Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you, Rajesh.
Bye. I might drop later.
Yeah, not a problem. I appreciate you being able to call in even for a few minutes. Thank you. Okay, so next, if nobody has a preference, should I just pick a name?
I can go after. I also have to go to another meeting right now.
Yes.
So go ahead and then maybe go to the meeting.
Of course, please go ahead. This is Patricia from our HPC modularity workstream.
Yeah.
All yours.
Thank you. So we started this modularity, I think at the end of the summer. So at the very end of the summer, we started to having regular meetings. We meet bi-weekly every Tuesday. Basically what we want to do is come up with the necessary standards that we need to achieve HPC and AI modularity. So we have been reviewing literature. We've been trying to get the metrics that we need to create a standard. And by this time, we have worked on getting a roadmap on how to get these standards. So the first step was to identify possible applications for specialization. And in our meetings, we have discussed a couple of them. So if anyone is interested in one of these applications, have experience with it, or want to add another application, an HPC or AI application, please don't hesitate to reach out. But we have worked on, for example, thinking about high energy physics, which is a very popular HPC application. We have looked into density functional theory, which is one of the most, it occupies 25% of the computing resources at DOE. We have identified applications in the artificial intelligence space as well. We have worked with molecular dynamics, and then so many others. So what we want to do with these particular applications that we have identified is to run profiling with this. So with this profiling effort, we want to get metrics, or the metrics that you need for these applications to work. And then we're going to get to the point where we can have simulation-based modeling of how modular system would look like in particular for HPC and AI. We also need to look into hardware generation because specialization is highly dependent on the hardware that is running on the chiplets. So we want to look also into that. And then we've also been discussing about FPGA-based exploration. So all these topics are basically necessary to achieve AI, to achieve modularity for AI in HPC based on chiplets. So if you have experience, or if you have some work on any of these topics, or if you're interested, please don't hesitate to join us, reach out. If you have questions, we will be happy to talk. We have homeworks and plans for next weekend, for next year. So hopefully we can get more people interested in joining the work stream. And that's it.
Thank you, Patricia. If you look at the wiki page, that call is listed as HPC and AI modularity is the name of the project. There is a call link there, and they actually even have a wiki page for which Patricia and George and co populate very nicely on this, so you can actually see what's being done and the mandate of the team, etc. It's, again, just like the test work stream, this one is somewhat recent. And so it's an area you want to join and influence or guide in some way. We'd be happy to have you do that. I think from last week's presentation that Greg Sullivan from AMD made about the the strategic initiative for AI, I think the AI for chiplets that he had possibly ties in with what the work that Patricia's team is doing for modularity, to define sockets and form factors to achieve the kind of performance, power, area requirements that we need, but make it so much modular so you can swap and do clever things like that. So I think it ties in very well. See a lot of growth for this particular work stream. So feel free to join. Any questions for Patricia? All right. Thank you, Patricia. Thanks for joining. I know you're double booked. Appreciate it. Okay, we move next to Helia. Helia, welcome to our meeting. It's so great to see you on the call today. Helia runs the link layer. So Helia,
Hi,
feel free to-
Anu, Jawad, and Cliff, and rest of the team. Thank you. I'm driving. I was hoping that Brian could join and give update, but I don't see him on the call.
Yeah, I
Brian,
don't see him.
are you on the call?
He's not on the call, but what I can do is, Helia, if you're driving, we can go to somebody else, and then I'll forward the link to Brian and see if he can. Maybe he just doesn't know where the link to the meeting is.
Yeah,
then...
and I can just quickly go over where we are in the link layer, and then if Brian joins with more detail, that's awesome. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, so first of all, about the participants, we have 2 implementation of the bunch of wire link layer in the world, and we have participation from both of those people. One is from Blue Cheetah, and the other one is an engineer who implement that in D-Matrix and is now somewhere else. So both of them are really sharing their perspective of what needs to be implemented in the sideband. and finishing up the sideband spec is the task that we have in hand, and we are trying to really cross all the T's and dot all the I's, and put the last wrap around it. It's in a very good shape now, and Brian in particularly pick it up to really drive it to the next level and improve the quality of the spec and cross-check it with other specs that we have. So hopefully very soon we'll cut it cut the ribbon, and it will be complete.
Oh, that sounds great, Helia. So sometime maybe, in the first or second quarter of next year is what you would target releasing that spec?
Yes, I'm really hoping first quarter would be.
Okay. No, sounds fair enough. We had another gentleman from Infineon join the call yesterday. I think you were unable to make the call, and they seem to be they had 2 participants who seem to be interested in learning more about this to be able to use it. I think they're using it or some such thing. So I think the
I'll
good
follow up.
news.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome news. I'll follow up with them. Yep.
Yeah, Brian was on the call yesterday. So the good news is that we might get additional participation. So that's the nice part. I think that we've had a little bit of a drag earlier in this year where there was some changes in personnel in different organizations, and we didn't quite have the traction that we wanted. But it sounds like Helia, it's going as best as it can at this point.
Yes, and we had change in the in various companies' the strategy too, but it's good to see that there are new blood in the bunch of wire. I'll follow up with that. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks. Any questions for Helia? The one thing I want to note is that the meeting online on the wiki page states as 9 a.m. on Thursday. The call actually starts at 8:30. But I think Helia, Brian was saying you moved it for a certain participant, and that participant might have been a microchip participant who didn't show up afterwards. So I think once you guys decide if you want to move it up to 8:30, we'll have Kevin change the wiki page, because most people just look at this wiki and call in, and yesterday we were all half hour late for the call. So
Okay. Let me figure out whether we need to change the wiki or whether we need to change the time that you're going
absolutely,
to
yeah. So for the next year, you can figure it out, and then we can ask Kevin to change it if you guys as a group want to move it up or down or whatever.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Helia. I really appreciate you here driving and talking. So thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay. So we went to group number 3. Anyone else have an urgent need to leave the meeting? Okay, if not, I'm going to go to Kevin. Kevin from Ilion,
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, so you have multiple roles here, I know. I had messaged Shahab yesterday, but I didn't hear back. So
Okay.
would you be so kind to give us a quick 2-minute update on the D2D metrics? Because you're one of the most active participants and contributors in that call.
Sure, of course. Is it okay if I share something?
Wonderful, even better.
How's that? Is that working?
Yes, sir.
For those that are not driving, so this work group, Workstream, is run by Shahab. It's on electrical interfaces performance metrics, which is basically trying to describe the metrics that describe data-to-die interfaces. Really, it's trying to create a list of parameters, not trying to say what's good or bad, but really to help people use the same language when they're talking about interfaces to improve the adoption of data-to-die interfaces, not specifically Bo, but including a bunch of wires, of course, but it's equally applicable to UCIe and others, including XSR SerDes and such. This was an example list of the parameters we came up with. There's actually many more, but the format is documentation that describes it and then gives you ways to select and quantify the various parameters. And many people have been participating. The calls are weekly on Tuesday at 9:30. You asked about successes, so our white paper was published, I think, in no small part to the efforts of Anu. Thank you for helping us get that through. It just happened, what, 2 weeks ago? I think.
Yeah, I think it was
And
2 weeks ago, and it's no, that was it was fantastic. And the good part is you guys put it on LinkedIn too, so it got a lot of
did,
views.
I did, yeah. So that got a little bit of, so this is a link to it, but I know I can post it in the chat here, but I did not know how to find these, and just as information to others, if you just search for OCP contributions, there are a bazillion out there, right? But if you filter by this magic, which is server, it's now not ODSA, but Open Chiplet Economy. If you filter by that, then you can find, for example, the business one that was published earlier. We were just talking about test a few minutes ago. And this one here is the one that we just published. So thought that would be useful for people. And so that's the main update.
So Kevin, one question for you. I know that on and off you guys have been talking about having that I wouldn't call it tutorial, but the session that we had last year before the global summit. And
Right.
I know that you guys were planning for it. Do you think that's something on target for 2025?
Yeah, yes. And no, I don't know any details.
Okay, no, fair enough.
We wanted to have a workshop, as all work streams do usually annually. We were thinking about doing it around Chiplet Summit, but the Monday before Chiplet Summit, it is actually a holiday. And we've struggled to find the appropriate day. We may end up doing what the business workstream did, which is have that workshop in this meeting, maybe 1 week or 2 weeks. I don't know, but anyway, something Shahab and you and I need to discuss.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now that you guys have published the white paper, I think it's good to get that in. To be honest, Kevin, the easiest way is to do it like the way Marek did it for the business workshop, and just divide it into 2 weeks.
Right.
And 2 hours.
Our goal is to, highlight, of course, the white paper and drive us some adoption, because we think it has a lot of useful content, and that's what we want to do with the workshop. So.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
No, thank you for that update, Kevin. The white paper is really worth a read. It's a pretty long white paper, but it's got even for those who aren't terribly into the how is latency measured type folks, it provides a really good insight into how to do an apples to apples comparison as opposed to an apples to oranges comparison, which usually throws everybody off. So I would Kevin sent the link, and I personally think it's a fantastic white paper. So I'd highly encourage all of you to try to skim through it at least and get the glean information from it. So thanks, Kevin.
Yeah.
Appreciate that update.
Anu, if I might add something.
Sure.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that now that the white paper is done, we in 2025 will have the ability to host courses based upon white papers that are approved at OCP. And so one of the things that the business workshop sorry, the business Workstream has done is created a set of course material based on the white paper they published last year. That's going to go live in advance of the Chiplet Summit. That's our proof of concept first trial. And ultimately, we would like to have the ability to have an approved contribution on the coursework that follows on from a white paper, and that's probably going to happen next year. So it would count as a contribution. But if the group was interested, we would very much welcome them to create the course, do a parallel effort, creating the course material, and we'd have it hosted at our learning management platform. We're probably going to open up the brand under OCP Academy and hope to have a very large body of content over the next year or two generated. If you're interested, reach out to me and I'll put you in touch with James Kelly, who's leading up our OCP Academy initiative.
Yeah, that's fantastic, Cliff, because there's quite a few white papers, and the business group, as Raghu's going to present, is actually recorded video tutorials for sort of a view into chiplets, and that can be part of it as well. So very cool.
That exactly is going to now be ported onto the learning management platform, and we'd actually like to go back to David Ratchkoff and the CDX folk, and I know they did a couple of really great white papers last year that should also get converted to training material.
Oh, that's fantastic. Sounds really good. Thanks for that, Cliff. Okay, I just noticed that Brian, who I just emailed in the middle of the meeting, who is very active in the link layer, has just called in. So Brian was here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, good. So Brian, Helia actually was driving, but she gave us a good overview of the proceedings and the scope. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes if you would like to say or add anything, and we're very happy to see you in this meeting today. Please feel free to tell us about the link layer meeting and the direction and scope.
Yeah, sorry for being late, guys. Yeah, I think we've made a lot of progress over the last. Oh, actually, when was the last one of these updates? I didn't, I didn't check on that.
It's been a while, and to be honest, Javad and I are thinking we're going to do this on a quarterly basis. So going forward in 2025, I'm going to be more organized. So yeah.
All right. Well, so I guess we've made a good amount of progress probably since the last time you heard. As how you probably mentioned, we've had a working basis for a spec for a long time, and I think a lot of the concentration we've had over the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 months at least, has been on cleaning up the spec and really drilling down and focusing on any of the small details that just didn't get caught before. And so I'm trying to think of sorry, I didn't get a chance to make slides. A lot of the focus, I think, in recent history has been on reclarifying our ECC, our clarifications around timing and timeouts, clarifying a variety of flows around error handling, both at the lower transaction level and then the higher link control level. There's different kinds of errors. We defined some bits on scope with error handling and made definitive decisions on not doing some things in terms of defining error codes and leaving that up to implementations, making that very explicit, while at the same time making the actual error flow itself on how errors are reported, where they go, etc., making that as clear as we can. We've also added a whole bunch of other clarifications around our link control side, the partner message register that handles link states and bad lanes and all those wonderful things. I think we're to the point now where most of the spec is cleaned up. Most of the obvious small issues have been handled, and now we're kind of in the at least in terms of our small group, moving on to any other formatting things, and really hoping to get some more feedback from people that haven't seen the spec before.
Yep, that sounds like really good progress. Thanks, Brian. Is it a question here, Nick? Okay, maybe not. Thanks, Brian, and appreciate your joining. And feel free to join our 8 a.m. calls every Friday whenever you get the chance.
Mhm.
We're going to move on to our CDX group. Is David on the call? Yes. Thank you, David.
Yes, I am. Yep. So, quick update. This year we've been working on a lot of things. Actually, I wanted to give a summary update for all the CDX sub work streams. Right. We've been working on several different pieces of the so-called 3DIC design kit. Couple of things. So on the material design kit, we are almost done with that. I've been going and just cleaning up the white paper. Just the final touches. We're putting in the final touches, making it pretty. So the definition of that is almost done. And I'm hoping that next week you guys will have time for me to come over and to present the work that has been done. The other piece that the CDX has working on is the assembly design kit. That's also almost done. We'll be cleaning it up, and probably early next year we'll come and present. The third piece of the 3DIC design kit that we have been working on is the test design kit. The purpose of that is to be able to describe the different test modes and the pin settings for the for a chiplet, and also to describe the physical aspects of chiplet pads, right? Bumping, sacrificial pads, all that stuff. That is nearly done. And if you have time, I would like to come and present it next week as well. So basically MDK and the test DK are kind of ready for contribution. So whenever you have time, I would like to come and present.
Yeah, I'm really interested in knowing about the test piece. I think that's really indicating what are the pins available for testing, right?
Yeah, the approach that we have taken about CDXML is basically we realize that it's nice to have a file format that basically would represent the final chiplet as a product, but we realize that's not sufficient. And technically, when you go through the flow of implementing a chiplet, you need a way to carry some of the data. And that data would get modified depending on which step of the flow you are. All right. For example, for test, when you're planning early on, you would specify the sacrificial pads and bumps and things like that, right? And those would be used for wafer probing. However, when you ship the final product, you don't need to specify the sacrificial pads. So we envision this CDXML being used throughout the flow to carry the data, for the data to be modified at different steps of the flow, and then the final product will have the basically the final version of the CDXML.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Now that you mention it, who cares about the sacrificial pads? For the system level integrator, couldn't care two hoots because
right.
Yeah, okay, makes sense.
Yeah. And the fourth piece that CDX has been working on is SIPI design kit. The purpose of that is for any die-to-die interface, or even for SerDes for that matter, for a vendor to be able to provide what are the actual electrical parameters for that IP, right? You have the typically you would have the what the standard is requiring in terms of performance. However, sometimes IPs might be better, might be worse. It depends, right? This is a way to basically to digitize the SI and PI section of a IP data sheet and put it into a file to be read in by tools. And really, the purpose for that is to have a little bit more automation around simulation, right? Where people wouldn't have to go in to read the data sheet and make sure they punch in the right numbers and specify all the parameters properly. Instead, the thing that we want to automate is the vendor would give you the IP, the vendor will give you the file for the IP, and you can read it into the simulation tools, and all the necessary parameters and boundaries and checks will be automatically set up in the tool. So quite a bit of work, many different things. So slowly we're going to start to publish this work.
No, excellent. And the link to these white papers are available on the OCP site. I think Kevin pointed out how to find those. So these are, this is work that's been done over the last few years, and it's evolved into something really very comprehensive and useful.
Yep. The work that we have done so far has not been contributed yet, so you would not be able to find it in the contribution database. But once we do that, once it gets accepted and gets into the contribution database, rest assured you will hear from me.
Right, and these calls are also on the wiki page. And David, I'm going to assume the timings. You have a Wednesday 10 a.m. You have a Thursday 10 a.m. and a Thursday 11 a.m. call.
Thursday 9 and Thursday 10. And we alternate both calls each week for ADK, MDK, SIPI, and test. So we're busy bees.
Okay, so what I'm going to do after this meeting is I'm going to send this link to all the team leads, and just let me know if any of your timings are not correct, because it seems like we've got a few bad ones in here, and then we'll have Kevin from the OCP fix that for us, so people can reach the right meeting at the right time.
David, one question. So I'm assuming the test kit work you are doing in collaboration with the test work stream, right?
We started on the test kit. We have been working in CDX, and Rajesh is one of the contributors to the white paper. The test design kit, it doesn't go really into the specifics of how to test things. The only thing it captures is the pretty much the test pin assignment. Right, that starts at planning and can be carried on to implementation for DFG engineers to take a look at and make sure that things are hooked up correctly. But we did not, on purpose, we didn't go into any specific test requirements, JTAG, and all the others, right? How a test should be implemented. Right, that's not in our charter anyway.
Okay, so I guess that will be covered by Rajesh and test work stream, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
and the test work stream had just started, right? Just started now. So definitely we will be in sync with them if any changes we need to make, any additions we need to make to the format, we will do that.
Yep. Sounds good. Thank you, David. We have two groups left. We've got the business work group, and then we've got the BOFI. I'm going to have Raghu from the business group go first because he has a meeting to run at 9 o'clock. So give him a little bit of breathing room between this and that. So
Okay, thanks,
Raghu,
Anu.
all yours.
And we'll also expect to see you there. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, so let me share. So I think this is so Marek is leading the group, and many of us out here, and including Anu, are active participants. So let me find the deck. So Marek was kind enough. He's on his well-deserved paternity leave and spending some time with his family. But he was nice enough to put together these slides. So I'm presenting this, and I think, Anu, if you want to chime in, please do chime in. So let me, so can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, there you go. I'm back on my own screen. Okay. So so the successes for the year is we published a white paper early this year. Most of the work on the white paper was done in 2023, but released in February 2024. Marek and a lot of participants out here, I think I will show you a list soon, also participated in a business challenges workshop held over 2 long days. And basically 6 major themes came out, which many of you are familiar with, and is being solved in many of the work streams that was listed out here. Interoperability, standards, business and cost structure, quality, testing, IP, and supply chain. We also presented that in the OCP summit. The next one, next big success was the OCP Chiplet marketplace launch, happened in July 2024. And I will show you a screenshot of that. And last, that was already mentioned before, is that we have taken the white paper and almost finished it as a video series. And we'll be launching that, try to launch that in mid-January before the Chiplet Summit. So it'll be a good kind of awareness and interest generating mechanism for us. So in terms of the workshop participants, I think going back to the workshop that was held in March, these are the 14 participants. And a lot of these have been pushed down as actions and next steps that you're working on. The presentations that happened via some of the work done on the OCP business group, we presented at the Chiplet Summit 2024. That was like way back, like almost a year back. We're going to be coming back again in 2025. I think there's a couple of us also went and presented at the DAC 2024 workshop and also at the OCP Global Summit. We had a panel as well as a presentation. I'm going to show a quick screenshot for folks who have not seen this before. This is a thanks to Steve Helvey. The slide is from his deck. Essentially, we have a OCP marketplace now, and this is how it looks, and good way to connect vendors to other vendors. This is a growing ecosystem, almost 20 to 27 folks right now. So these are people on the marketplace. So this is the pretty looking slide of the vendors on the marketplace. And clearly we want to grow that in 2025. This is stats of what was Steve Helvig picked up in October 2024. Obviously, it will change by now. But since I have the slide handy, I just wanted to show that. So the key things are like within the 2 months of launch, we had almost 600 views. And we have 46 listings with 27 vendors. And the top countries you can see out here are US, China, and Japan. So it's a good pickup out here. This is again the screenshot of the white paper on the left side that I mentioned that was launched early this year. And the right side shows the video series that is being built around the white paper. So you can see on the right side, there are like 8 or 9 sections. And each of the leads from the white paper, as well as some new people who have come in, have taken lead for each of these 5 to 10 minute videos. A total of like 8 or 10 videos. We'll be posting it in at least on YouTube, maybe in other places, maybe the OCP site and other places as well. But those some of the logistics are still being decided. Want to get it out before the Chiplet Summit. In terms of the scope change and expansion, I think the biggest thing that is coming up in the business workshop is that our business work stream, is that how to reduce the business barriers. We have a foundation now, but I think lowering the business barriers so the vendors can work with each other, especially when you have IP involved. What does that mean? How to discover and share the specs. So that's the kind of the next challenge that we need to look at. And I think as of now, the thought is that the best way to at least bring down or work towards that is to educate the people on the benefits of chiplets and challenges of chiplets as well. but more clearly show the opportunities in the marketplace. I think we discussed some of the HPC AI opportunities that can be built by a modular chiplet. So, but I think we need to build on it some more and build the benefits of it, so people can be more open in joining. And then I think the last one is the marketplace. So for folks who want to find vendors, we have built a marketplace and we want to make that again easier. The next step is, again, as I said, I think it's a repeating theme, amount of challenge that can be done in the open to build an open chiplet ecosystem. So we will be discussing that mostly more and more in 2025. And the next immediate steps are the Chiplet Summit presentation. I think that was discussed early in the session today, 2025 presentations. Keep building the chiplet marketplace. I believe Marek has a plan to do another business workshop sometime in 2025, and then better organize the the OCE information. So those are the highlights and what we are going to be doing next. I know you want to just chime in anything more?
No, just this is fantastic. This is it's a well-oiled machine, this group, between Mark and Raghu. They keep us all on our toes and get stuff done. So I'm very appreciative of 24-hour notice, and they produce a set of slides. Truly amazing. So thank you, Raghu. Raghu's taken over a lot for Marek, and we've appointed him the lead in the interim, but they actually, I think, are similar personalities and work really well together. So appreciate all your hard work, Raghu.
Oh, no, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Really enjoy the forum and the work. So yeah. Any questions from the group? Sorry.
Yeah, if I may, just +1 on Anu, it's Cliff. I just wanted to thank you and the business workstream for all the efforts. Not only are you leading the way for the open chiplet economy in terms of converting our material into something that can really make a difference to the general market and practicing engineers, we plan to use your work as a lighthouse to the whole rest of the open compute project community in terms of what they should also be doing around taking the material they generate and make it visible make it consumable by everybody.
Yeah, well said. Well said. Thank you. I'll kind of relay that to Marek also and the whole team.
Yep, you have a meeting in 8 minutes, so you could do that, Raghu.
All right. All right. Okay, no more questions. I will stop sharing.
Yep,
thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Raghu. And then last but not the least, we've got the BoFi team. Ilad is on a plane or in a car or something and is not able to join. So we have our very capable representative, Cash and Kevin here, who have, I have to say, they've been extremely active and helpful, and I keep roping them in for more and more things. And so far, I haven't heard an objection. So I really had to thank you guys for being so open and willing to talk and discuss and share and collaborate. So Cash and Kevin.
I'm not sure if Kosh is in a place where he can talk, but
oh, that's
this is
right.
Kevin.
He's driving too. That's right. Yeah. Okay.
But I will just give a quick update. So obviously, the Bow workstream is focused on the PHY interface layer, and when we're thinking about the successes in 2023, the big success was publishing the Bow 2.0 spec, and in 2024 we had an objective to publish a 2.1, but we did not complete it, largely because of me. I didn't have enough time to spend on it, but also we did have success in getting new participants that kind of expanded the scope. So we've added this new areas of memory and new areas, this Bow Flexi. We talked about that at OCP Summit, the Bow Optical, the Bow Memory, and the Bow Flexi that Kosh is spearheading. And I really think going into 2025, of course, our objective is to complete and publish the 2.1 addendums, but this new strategic initiative launched by OCP around open systems for AI that was covered, I believe, last week in this meeting. But they really are pushing for higher memory bandwidth, higher interconnect bandwidth, and things like SerDes and optical being connected. That falls within what we were trying to do. Maybe expands the scope that we're looking at. O3D for sure is something that Kosh is pushing, is a very interesting area, and the higher bandwidth or higher data rate, bunch of wire specs to support the AI is another area that I think we'll want to pursue. So I expect 2025 to be very busy.
Thank you, Kevin, and calling for active participation here. The die-to-die interface is a significantly important portion, and different applications have slightly different requirements. And
Right.
that's kind of where Kevin's trying to say we're trying to address more than just the HPC market with the same PHY. So compatibility issues are solved in that manner. And so if there are applications that matter to you, automotive, otherwise IoT, feel free to join this group. Again, this is a 9 a.m. Wednesday.
It's 9 a.m. 9 a.m. Wednesday. I forgot to say that. So
yeah, and I think I'm looking. I think this one is listed correct on the website. So, it's going to be interesting how this whole thing evolves. Compared to some of the other standards, and then the abundance of wires concept that the NAPMP has. To be honest, everybody is asking for a parallel data interface forwarded clock. The question really is, if you are trying to run it at a very high data rate, the complexity increases versus at a much lower data rate. So how do you determine what's ideal? And also ties into the package technology, right? So,
right.
Yeah. So
great.
Thank you for that update. Kevin is standing up for Elad here and a few other members who couldn't make it today. So thank you, Kevin. We're almost at the end of our meeting. We've covered all the groups. We have a few new participants here. And I know Bapi was very diligent about introducing new participants. So if you are new to this meeting, and I know one gentleman who is, could you just introduce yourself? Great for the team to know who you are.
So this is my first time attending. This is Mark Greenberg from Blue Cheetah. I do a number of standards things for Blue Cheetah. And I've been participating in the D2D and business work streams.
That's right. Mark is new to this meeting, but Mark is a very active participant in a couple other work streams. Thank you, Mark.
Right.
Hey, Anu. Hi, this is John Fryer with Crossfire. I actually have participated before in early 2024, but got really busy with what we were doing at Crossfire, and kind of ghosted for a while, but I'm back. Great things have happened and are happening. So miss Boppy for sure, but you guys are really picking up and doing a great job taking over for him. So we appreciate that.
Thank you, John, and welcome back to the meeting. And Jawad and I are trying hard to fill Bapi's giant shoes and having some trouble here, but appreciate the kind words.
This is Bill Chen. I have been missing in action for a while, and now I'm back.
Yes, thank you, Bill.
For the heterogeneous integration roadmap and for ASC.
Thank you, Bill. Bill is on and off our participants, and we always welcome him with open arms. Thank you.
This is Tafik, same here. I've been on and off, more off lately, but hoping to, participate with a higher cadence moving forward.
Yep, we need you to be on a little more. Thank you, Tafik.
Sure.
This is Mona Lisa. I used to actually participate quite a bit in Alan's HPC workstream, but I've been off for a couple of years now. So hopefully 2025, more activity.
No, absolutely. And Mona Lisa, what I'll do is I'll send the link to the wiki once we have the correct timings and everything confirmed. So
Yeah.
you guys have an easy way to access the meeting links. We have an HPC work stream too, so we'd be happy for you to join in. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Vijay?
Hi. Yes. Yeah. Sorry. Hi. This is Vijay, and actually, Roger introduced me a little bit earlier on the test work stream. So my focus is mainly on the test and HPC and ensuring thermals with connectivity within the within the package. So we focus on testing at ASEIC. So very happy to join, and this is a fantastic group. Love the initiative here.
Thank you, Vijay. We're excited to have you here and help you join the work stream that interests you the most. That's Rajesh's. I also want to thank everyone here today and all the work stream leads. I give you very short notice, but what we'll try to do is end of every quarter. So the last Friday of every quarter, we'll try to do a quick update. You don't have to make slides unless you're Raghu and Marek, but just a couple of minute updates so the group knows which direction you're going in. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it. This is going to be the last meeting this year. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everyone. And I will talk to lots of you this year, but some of you only in the next year. Thank you all.
Yeah, and we'll see a lot of you at the Chiplet Summit. Look forward to it.
Yep,
great job.
Absolutely.
Anu, thank you for running
guys.
this.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Bye.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.